Let's mute the Twitch page, send out Twitter, get everything set up and sent out. And we should be good. So, probably should walk on screen too. So, hello everyone, this is Chris Ingerson, and it is January 18th, and this is the January 18th TextQuest Devstream. So, today we are going to be focusing on code. Specifically, we're going to be focusing on a ambient system. So, at the end of last stream, we finished up the stream talking about the possibility of, having a ambient system similar to our music system. And I had started to move away from that, except pretty much immediately after the stream, I realized that having things automatically play in the scene through our level manager via the ambience list here is not really going to help us, in the sense that I need to fade ambience out when I play music. And that is not going to happen with the way current things are currently set up. So we need to actually create a system that will fade ambience down to a certain point, because we might not necessarily want it to go all the way away, and then fade it back up once the music is done. So let's go ahead and start by finding where music system is. Okay, so that's in common, but I guess we're not going to put it there. So we're going to go down to TextQuest. Then we're going, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh well, I can find that here. We have to keep track of our buses here. That's going to be the important thing. Let's go down to scripts. Let's see. Scripts. All right, I'm going to go ahead and collapse everything, and we're going to go to... really? I don't already have one. All right. We go ahead and add a folder for audio. Or, actually, I guess, do I have one for levels? I don't have one for levels. I might have for environment, which I'm guessing is just level manager. So, we'll just go ahead and put it in audio. We're going to create a C# script. I'm going to call this ambience. Wow. Ambience manager. And this is just going to be a fairly simple class that is going to do... it's going to fade out buses. That's pretty much all it's going to be used for. So let's go ahead and open this up. Oh, right. Just to compile all of these now. So the thing we're going to do is we're basically going to have a function that will crossfade the buses for ambient sound effects. I have no idea how that has whatever. Save that real quick. And I guess we'll go ahead and close that because we don't really need it open anymore. Let's go ahead and make this in the TextQuest namespace. And we should be good there. I guess we'll go ahead and say using sleepyowl.common. No, that's not. Okay, so for this, we're also going to need to say using sector. Wait, is that not what it is anymore? Okay. That means that it's under a fun name, isn't it? Oi. Let's see, sector. Fine then. What are you doing up here? Oh, does it really not have one? Huh. It's just in the base class, huh? Well, way to go, sector. Alright then, we'll go ahead and say private sector audio bus. This is going to be our, we'll say sector ambience. We'll also go ahead and say private, actually, before we do that, we are going to go ahead and using Unity engine.audio, because we're going to need references to music groups or audio groups. So private, crap, what is it? Audio mixer group. There we go. Audio mixer group, and we'll call this ambience. Okay, so go ahead and serialize those fields. And we'll go ahead and make our private static ambience manager instance. Private static ambience manager instance get. We will return instance, and we'll say if instance is equal to null, then we'll say instance is equal to find object of type ambience manager. That's interesting. Sector has a class for audio ambience. That's we'll say if instance is equal to null still, then we'll do instance is equal to global.get ambience manager. Those are the only two that we really care about. Go ahead and move this up one, might as well. All right, and let's go ahead and let that compile. And while I'm at it, I guess I will find my actual mixer. Pretty sure that that's what it's going to be, or need, but we will find out. Pretty sure. Okay, let's go ahead, and we got to jump ship to our splash screen, or splash fade, I suppose. While that's happening, we can go ahead and code some more stuff, because that's going to take a second to load. So we can start with public static. We'll do void for now, and that will be fade. Well, let's go ahead and just say set volume, float volume, and that's really all this is going to do, because we're just going to be controlling those buses. So let's go ahead and let that compile, come up here. Let's go ahead and make our game object here. We're going to call this ambience manager. I hit enter like right as it finished compiling, so I don't know if it's going to keep that name or reset it. It's going to do one of those two things. Aha! Good, it kept it. Let's go ahead and move this up here next to the music system. Okay, so go down. Go ahead and collapse all of our substances. Ambience manager. Alright, so here's our sector bus for that, and here is our mixer group. Alright, so for this, we are going to, let's see, I'm not entirely sure if these will even use the same values. I don't think they will, which is great. So we need to pretty much make that float a 0 to 1 normalized value and have that value be reflected in a range from, I guess, -80 to 0 for the Unity mixers and 0 to 100, I'm guessing, for the sector ones. Alright, so just out of curiosity, I will go ahead and say ambience, instance.ambience. Right. Give me a second here. Let's go ahead and look at our audio menu. So we want audio option. that'll, yeah, I guess it's just audio view. Okay. Apply test fade duration. What? This isn't right. I am. Huh. Pretty sure this is not right. Get value. Yeah, that's definitely not right. Let's go ahead and look for audio. Option. Really? It just doesn't seem right. But maybe it is. I guess one way to test this real quick is just to go look at the audio menu real quick. Huh. I mean, this looks like it might be right. Go ahead and peek this. I'm a little worried that I might have an old audio view script, but just to make sure. Peak definition. No, it's just done. Okay. So this should. Let's see, update slider values, set value. Oh, actually, that's what that's probably going to do, isn't it? Let's go ahead. Here we are, refresh audio settings. Ah, there it is. Set float. And we want it on that? Really? Great, okay. So I guess we'll go ahead and grab that. Let's go ahead. Oh, crud. That's even better. Okay. Let's go over here to Ambience Manager. Go ahead and stick these things together. So we have a wonderful thing here. I can't actually crossfade. So I can't just crossfade from my maximum volume to my minimum volume. I actually need to crossfade from the maximum user set volume, which by default would be my max volume, but could be less than that if you go into the audio options and turn down your audio mixer. That means we need to handle that a little bit. Ooh, that is not fun. That sucks really bad. Okay. That's going to be fun to figure out. Let's go ahead and say private. Go ahead and serialize that field. We'll go ahead and have headers for this. So Unity bus followed by sector bus. And let that compile. So now we should have a pop-up here. Are you serious? I don't understand this. How are some of my some of my line endings in my scripts that I edit are somehow Unix, even though I convert them all to freaking Windows? It must be Visual Studio 2017. This is a new thing that I've only recently had happen to me. So, let's go ahead and open this up. Yeah, I don't know why it does that. It's very annoying, though. Maybe I forgot to do it? I don't know. Whatever. Okay, so this is going to be fun. Let's go ahead. Set value, find all references. Set value, cancel settings, set value on control updated. Okay, so that's all of that. So does my options control up here really do anything? Let's go ahead and peek that. Okay. Not entirely sure why some of these things are in here. Let's see. ID and type. And value. Find all references. Let's see where this was assigned. The control on value changed. Fair enough. Alright. I guess I'll just let that go for now. Ambience Manager. Let's go ahead and close this. Okay, so we want to say ambience. Oh, right, and I guess I need to set the mixer. Um, so I can't actually do anything to the mixer itself, which really seems kind of dumb. I have to do it this way for some reason. Wait, not a big fan of how Unity set up their audio stuff. It's really locked down. Oh, right. Instance.ambience volume param. Right, and now this is where it gets a little iffy. So we basically want. Jeez, that is gonna be so freaking messy. I have to grab that at runtime, don't I? Okay. Let's see. Let me think. So we basically need to grab the range of possible values for this. That way we can crossfade. And that means that I basically need to do a couple of things. I guess first let's go ahead and say private float min ambience volume is equal to, I think, -80 is what we want. Private float. You know what? I'll make these vector 2s. So let's go ahead and say private vector 2 ambience range is equal to new vector 2. So we'll say -80f and then 0f. Let's go ahead and do max range. Oh, I guess not that it matters. So we'll just go ahead and get rid of that and then serialize this. Serialize field. Okay. Let's go ahead and also tooltip these things while we're in here. So we'll go ahead and say audio mixer group for Unity audio mixer group for wow. I just can't think of how to write this tooltip apparently. For Unity's ambience group. Let's go ahead and copy this. We'll go ahead and put this here. And we're going to say sector audio bus for sectors ambience group. Let's see, tooltip. Volume parameter for Unity's ambience mixer. Okay. Tooltip. Range of possible values for the ambience mixer. Okay. And finally, we're going to do the same thing here. Let's go ahead and just copy this. Paste this down here. We'll call this sector ambience range. Range of possible values for the sector ambience mixer. And okay. So in addition to all of that, we have to figure out what our min and max values are going to be. And we have to do that every time we're going to set this stuff, which really sucks. But we will do so. Okay, so for this is where things get a little awkward. So this needs to be a normalized volume amount. Normalized volume. And then we need to go ahead and say float. Well, no, hold on. Game settings dot volume. Oh, come on. Okay. And I don't remember if I have that as a normalized value or not. If I was smart, I would, but I do not rely on my past self being smart. Let's go to build, text quest, settings, text quest settings. Oh, good. They are 1. Okay, so it's a normalized value from 0 to 1, with master apparently having been set to 0, which is odd. Okay. So that means we get to do this. Float max ambience is equal to mathf.lerp between audio range, I'm sorry, ambience, wow, instant, dot ambience range, dot x, instance dot ambience range, dot y, based on that. Okay, so that's our maximum ambience. We're going to need to come up here and say using system.collections. So we have to have a coroutine to do the actual crossfading. So we're going to have a float crossfade. Wow. Crossfade. There we go. We'll set that to be 2 seconds by default. Okay, let's go ahead and come down here. We're going to say private void set volume internal. Not going to do anything there, and then we're going to come down here and say private enumerator set volume coroutine. Okay, so we're going to take this, put this down here, move these guys down to here so I can get rid of all of the instance requirements. Makes things a lot easier. Alright, and this is just going to call instance.setVolumeInternal, normalized volume, crossfade. Okay. Alright, so this is not quite going to do everything that we want yet. Oh, right, and I need to handle this. So let's go ahead and say actually, I wonder, can I get away with that? Yeah. No, I probably can't. Okay, so let's go ahead and pass those both in. Except I don't need the overload there. And we're going to go ahead and say float t is equal to 0f, while t is less than 1f, t plus equals time, alright, time.delta time divided by crossfade, yield, okay, one day I'll be able to type, yield return, null, and let's see, before we do anything else, let's go ahead and come down here, and we're going to say, well, it's going to be where we actually crossfade everything. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do the same thing down here. We're going to say sector ambience dot. Now here's where we get. Oh, good. It does have a volume. Thank you. Interesting. There's a user volume. I don't know what that does. Go ahead and say volume is equal to. Go ahead and peek this definition. Okay, so that's a normalized value. That's very nice. That means that all we really have to do is find out what our max ambience for that is. Oh, geez. Okay. Well, for now, we're going to cheat and say normalized volume, but actually we need to multiply that by the actual game settings. So I guess it would be this times that, I'm pretty sure is what we would want. And that would mean that, let's see, jeez, no, that's not going to be right. So, let me go ahead and comment that out real quick. I want to see if I have something set up for my audio menus. Up here to UI. Let's see, view, audio options. Let's go ahead and turn on our UI. And we'll drag that in here. All right. Mostly I'm curious if we have a range value or if we've just limited the range to be the slider that you use to control volume settings. Alright, so let's see. Ambient options slider. Ambience volume. So that's 0 to 100. That can't be right. Can it? I thought, hold on. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at my audio menu. Let's go ahead and turn this off. So the reason that I'm kind of so concerned about this is because it's possible that you could have music be playing, which would cause the audio or the ambience to crossfade down to a lower volume, but then you could, while that is happening, go into your options menu and change the actual values of your ambience volume, and that would mess things up. That would crossfade probably the ambience back up to what it would normally be, which is not what we want here. Let's go to start, options, audio. Let's go ahead and set that back to 1. So we're going to test this. So here's my question. Are you actually doing anything, game? Because I don't think you are. No, there's a 1 there. Okay, I'm going to move this up. We're going to keep an eye on that as I drag around. Nope, come on, work with me here. Interesting. But it's not actually setting it. So let's set it to 50. Hit apply. Okay, we got nothing there, which means that it's not actually setting those values? That can't be right. So this is probably, if I remember correctly, this is just crossfading actual audio sources. So let's go over here to options, content, ambience volume, up here. Yeah. So we're just crossfading this, aren't we? Yep. Wonderful. Well, okay then. So that's something I need to actually set. Let's go ahead and stop playing here for now. So we're just going to kind of dive into this and see if we can get it right the first try. And if not, we'll figure out what's wrong. Okay, so we're going to say set volume internal, blah, 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 blah. We're going to set our value to be the min and max range based on audio ambience. That's fine. Then we are going to go ahead and say, crud, that's not going to work now, is it? Oh, no, that'd be fine. So it's going to be this, basically. Math f.lerp between ambience range.x and max ambience based on normalized volume. That should give us the correct values. It won't crossfade right away, which is fine, but it should be the actual values that we want. So I'm going to wrap this. We're going to say if crossfade is less than or equal to 0f, then we're just going to do all that stuff immediately. Otherwise, we will start a coroutine. So else start coroutine, set volume coroutine based on normalized volume and crossfade. Okay, so with this, we're going to need to calculate all of that again. So we're going to go ahead and say float start ambience is equal to 0f. These are actually going to have non-zero values. I'm just kind of laying them out right now. Float end ambience is equal to 0f. Then float sector ambience, sector start ambience is equal to 0f. Then float sector end ambience is equal to 0f. Okay, so for this, we are going to have fun. Okay, we are going to say start ambience should be what it fades from to what it fades to. So we need to just get our initial values, I believe. So we want this to be I guess this would be ambience.audiomixer.getFloat ambience volume param. Oh, of course it is, because it can never be easy. So that one actually is going to be a 0 value. Let's go ahead and go down here, and we're going to have to say out start ambience, because Unity is just fashion forward like that. End ambience is going to be this. It's going to be this. Crap, that is, well, no, that's, it's going to be this, basically. So we need to let's go ahead and grab this, paste that here, and then we'll also go ahead and grab this, paste that in for that. Okay, so now for the sector start ambience, we're just going to go ahead and say sector ambience dot volume. So that's going to be our starting value, and then our end value will be that. Right. Pretty sure that that's correct. Yes, because it's normalized, so that should be fine. Okay. So we have all of our start values initialized, and that means that all we have to do here is say ambience.audiomixer.setFloat ambience, crap, what is it called? Ambience volume param, there we go. Based off math f.lerp between start ambience and end ambience based on t. Alright, next we're going to say sector ambience dot volume is equal to mathf.lerp between sector start ambience, sector end ambience based on t. Okay, final thing that we want to do is at the end here, we're just going to do basically this again, except we're just going to set it, instead of lerping, to be the end value. That. That. All of that. Okay. And that should pretty much be all we need. All right. So I think that will do everything that we want. Let's go ahead and let that compile. And then we're going to jump over to the plane scene, and we're going to do some music tests. Because there's a musical trigger that happens after you explore the cabin and pick up some keys in there. Once you leave the cabin after picking up those keys for the first time, there will be a little audio cue that plays to let you know that you're progressing. Okay, so let's go ahead, go back to the levels. Let's get rid of the intro levels and go to the planes. Okay, so we have a music trigger here, and all this music trigger does is basically waits for you to walk past it, and then at that point it will trigger a musical, well, event. Let's go ahead and open this up, because we're going to need it to crossfade some stuff. And yeah, trigger enter. Okay, play trigger. Let's go to definition here. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do ambience. Really? That doesn't make sense. How? What, did I spell text quest wrong? Why the heck don't you work? Ambience. Oh, it did. I just didn't notice it. Dot set volume. Right. I guess we'll go ahead and go up here. Let's go ahead and do serialized field, private, float, ambience, volume. We'll set that to be like 0.25, so a quarter, I think, will be fine. And we'll go ahead and tooltip this as, or two-tip this tooltip as volume for ambience while the music is playing. Okay. All right. I do not remember if I was smart enough to give me a callback when this is completed. I will be so amazed if I do. Nope. Disappointing. I'm going to have to add that. Go to definition here. So something that I would like to have happen is when you play a music clip after it's finished, it would be cool if it had a callback that was called to let you know that it was done. Although I guess I can see how that might be a little iffy. We might stay away from that for a second. Just as a proof of concept, let's go ahead and say ambience volume followed by a crossfade. Yeah, well, let's not hardcode that. Let's go ahead and private float crossfade is equal to 2f. Go ahead and serialize that field. Go down here. We'll pass in the crossfade. Okay. And I think that would probably be good. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and let that compile. I'm actually curious what the level does. References. I don't know why this is here. That seems to not really have much of a reason. Also, this is old enough that it's using, yep, straight up old IDs. All right. Let's go ahead and change that real quick. So we're going to say public data ID. ID is equal to data ID dot none. And that should be good. Oh, that's interesting. Right, that would pose some problems, now wouldn't it? Not really. I think I can probably change this a little bit. Yeah, this is really old. This stuff is ancient. Okay, let's go ahead and redo some of this. We're going to say private data ID trigger ID is equal to data ID dot none. Let's see. I can't tooltip these, which sucks. Dang it. That's all. Dang it. It's all stuff that I wrote for work, not for here. So part of my problem with this is that data I want to tooltip these, but I can't really. So I'm gonna have to be as explicit as possible in the names as in the naming of the variables. So this is going to change quite a bit. Trigger. We'll say triggered ID. Then activate. I guess we'll go ahead and tooltip this anyway, even though it won't actually do anything, but at least I can see what it is. So ID that must be, well, nope. Yeah, okay, we're gonna expand on this class a lot. Actually, you know what? No, let's go ahead and make just a new class here. String ID is equal to this. Yeah, we're just gonna make a new class. This class is small enough that I think we can get away with that. So let's go ahead and just let that go. Alright, so do I have a music trigger? I do! Look at that, I have a music trigger. And now the question is, do I do anything with this? I'm pretty sure that I don't. Actually, I'm like 90% sure that I don't. Let's go ahead and look for type music trigger. Nope. Alright, all kinds of fun. So we're just going to go ahead and update this. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. So text quest trigger should probably have a type. Oh, good. It's got a data ID that means nothing, because of course it does. Triggered, trigger entered. Probably should. That derives from event trigger, which itself must have. Yeah, there we go. Tag masks. Okay. Let's see. Trigger entered. Trigger exited. That's all good. And let's see. Type can equal several types, right? Okay, yeah. We don't need stay. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. We'll call this old. Hit save. Let's go ahead and add music trigger. Discovery trigger, I guess, was the old, very, very old original one for triggering music. But let's go ahead, go back up here, go to music trigger. We are not using music group at all, so we can get rid of that. We are keeping music clip, and free play I'm pretty sure is not really used here, is it? Nope. How fun. Alright, so final, let's see, So we have our tags already. We have our discovery tags. Let's go ahead and come over here. Tag masks should be 1. We'll go ahead and set that as player. I'm actually going to go ahead and cheat and come back here to text quest trigger peak, which itself is a child of event trigger, and I'm going to go ahead and just say player. I'm going to default that that list so that it initializes properly. Let's go ahead and save that. We'll go ahead and let that compile. And let's see, so data ID doesn't really mean much. We'll go ahead and have private data ID triggered ID is equal to data ID dot none. All right, let's go ahead. Serialize field, make this private. Okay. And we are going to want to say using system.collections because we're going to need a coroutine. And for that, we're going to go ahead and say private enumerator. Wait for music coroutine. Let's see here. Does this return anything? It doesn't. That's going to be interesting. So we'll go ahead and say float t is equal to 0f. While t is less than music clip dot length. We are going to go ahead and say yield return. No, I probably should actually. So yield return. Seriously? Return null t plus equals time dot delta time. Okay, pretty much as simple as that. And then at the end, we are going to want to set ambience manager dot set volume 1f. So whatever the max volume should be for that. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to set volume to be a couple of things here. So private float ambience volume is equal to 0.25f. Go ahead and serialize the field, followed by a range attribute between 0f and 1f, followed by a tooltip attribute that says the volume to set ambience to while music is playing. Let's go ahead and do serialize field, followed by private float crossfade is going to be equal to, I guess, 2f by default. Let's go ahead and tooltip that. Time for ambience to fade to its target value. All right. So that's going to be set based on crossfade, as will this. So ambience volume followed by crossfade. Okay, that should work. We're going to go ahead and say start coroutine. Wait for music coroutine. Okay. Why are you mad? Oh, it's because I made an enumerator, not enumerator, or enumerable. Okay. Go ahead and do that. Save out. All right. So with all of that, let's go ahead and grab this. So paste it. I'm going to grab the sphere collider. I'm going to turn you off. Paste component is new. Go ahead and remove that and then re-add it because I'm kind of curious. Okay, good. Wanted to make sure that that would work. Let's see. Type, enter. It's going to be type exit. Data ID. We'll go ahead and say cabin unlocked and cabin window open for triggered stuff. Music clip is going to be planes 4. 5, I think that's fine. Crossfade time of 2 seconds. Okay, we're almost done. I do need to add logic to make sure that it's not already triggered. And that actually, hold on. Event triggered. Trigger entered. These are. What? Is that the. Yes. Okay, so these are the events. Okay, so let's go to text quest trigger. Go to definition. Trigger type. Triggered. Let's see, data ID. Session.getBool data ID dot name. And then we're going to set this to be false. Okay. Son of a. All right. That means that we need to actually change music trigger around a little bit. This is going to be trigger ID. So this will be the thing that triggers it. And let's go ahead and say private bool trigger value is equal to false. This is actually good because this gives me a chance to have a tooltip. So we're going to go ahead and say expected value of trigger ID. Let's go ahead and say if trigger ID value matches. Crud. I probably should actually have this be flexible in case I want to do stuff other than bools. But a bool test case for now will be fine. If trigger ID value matches this, the music trigger can play. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and come up here. We're going to say private bool can play. We're going to say get return session dot get bool. Yeah, this is where we're going to go nuts. Trigger ID followed by that is equal to trigger value. So and do I have a triggered? Yeah, we're going to say and not triggered. Let's take a look at this. Where does this get set? Set it on trigger exited, on trigger state. We'll go ahead and set triggered equal to true here. Okay, so that's pretty simple, and I think that's going to be all we need to do. Should be anyway. So let's go ahead and let that compile then. I think that will be everything that I need. So we should be able to. I almost forgot. Need to make sure that that is in the ignore raycast layer. Otherwise, it'll block interactions with stuff. So what should happen here is I'm going to spawn into the level, going to walk into that trigger zone and walk out of it, and nothing should happen because our triggers, because our IDs are not set. Although I do need to set these to be correct. So let's go ahead and change this to cabin window open. Oh no, I'm sorry, this is going to be cabin window open. And this is going to be cabin unlocked. So trigger ID matches this. User trigger can play. Okay, so we're going to come down here. And we're going to go ahead and say, and can play. We'll add that to both of these. And that should work. I guess to be 100% sure, I want to make sure that when we go into here, that this gets set. Oh, it does not. Get rid of you. You've got to be kidding me. Let's see. I'm trying to think of all the places that I'm using this. Cutscene trigger, music trigger, maybe nowhere. Maybe I just started coding these things out of the blue and I never actually did anything with them. That cannot be correct. Alright, let's go ahead and say okay. I'm gonna go ahead and say protected bool triggered get return triggered set triggered is equal to value if triggered is not equal value. We'll do this, and we'll also go ahead and say session set bool data ID true. Okay. All right, and that means all I have to do here is say that. All right, that should be fine, which means that we can go back up here, and everything else should work. Not triggered. Yeah, okay. So now we should be good? Question mark? Alright. Once that finishes compiling, I'll be able to test. Go ahead and play. And okay. So nothing played. Nothing played. So we're going to go ahead and go into the cabin, unlock the door, come back out the front. And then we will... oh, this is interesting. Oof. Jeez, that load time is unacceptable. What is going on in this scene? There's like nothing here. We're still having that issue, which I don't really know what's doing that. Okay, let's go ahead and unlock. Okay, so this time we should be able to trigger the music. Okay, well that didn't work. Interesting. Let's go ahead and make sure that it didn't turn itself off. It turned itself off. Okay. couple of reasons that it might have done so. We might actually not want to have that be cabin window open. It's entirely possible that doing so actually made it automatically turn itself off. So we'll go ahead and call this cabin music trigger. Let's go ahead and change it to something like plain signed burned, because that is definitely not something I'm going to do. So let's try that again. And I guess we'll turn off maximize on play for now, because I want to keep an eye on that, make sure it doesn't automatically go away. I believe in you, Unity. Okay, so it hasn't gone away yet. It's still there. That lag. Do not understand what's causing that. Okay, are you still open? Or I guess, do you still exist? Okay, so it still exists. No! Why not? Boo on you, sir. Okay, fine. Let's go ahead and test this. Ugh. Okay, cabin unlocked is true, so that should have totally happened. Except I set it to be false. Ah, dang it. You know what that means? It means that we can actually probably just go ahead and walk into the trigger and then walk back out, and it will work. Alright, so let's go ahead and try that again. Can't believe I did that. Maybe all of that hang time is for substances? So that's good. Oh, come on! Really? Fine, let's throw in the debugs. Debug.log can play. Let's go ahead and move this to our trigger exited, because we know that that's, of course. Debug.log can play. Let's see. So if we get equal to trigger value. Okay. Not triggered. Okay. I guess we'll go ahead and just for the sake of clarity, string.format. Okay, not quite what I wanted, but that works. Comma. So we're going to say can play, followed by 1, followed by 2. This will be session.getBool trigger ID, followed by triggered. Okay. Oh, and I guess I should say is equal to trigger value. No, you know what? No, we'll just get the actual bool. That way I can immediately tell what it is. Okay, so this will still not work, but it will at least give us information as to what is going wrong exactly. Which is, useful. So I was thinking the topic of today was going to come down to basically this, the ambient stuff, or mini games for loading screens, because I'm not really happy with my current loading screen. I think I'm going to I think I'm going to scrap the mini games that I currently have in my loading screen, which are basically like word jumble or type a certain thing as fast as you can. I think I'm going to scrap those in favor of one button mini games, like just pressing the space key at certain times, or doing maybe pressing a letter whenever it shows up, um, just to keep things simple and make it a lot more obvious that it's a mini game. Because a lot of people tend not to realize that they can really do stuff on those loading screens. They don't really mess with them. Part of that is because it loads so fast, but the other part is that I don't think it's very enticing. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I should be able to walk out. False, false, and true. So it's triggered. It thinks that it's triggered. Why does it think that it's triggered? It's a very good question. Let's go ahead and find all references. Triggered is equal to value, which we set here. And let's see, on trigger entered. If not triggered, and type is equal to on trigger exited. Oh. Really? That's the way we chose to do this? Really? Okay. I mean, that's a simple fix. It means that we can do this. So we just flip the order that those are called in. That should actually solve that problem. So the problem was that we were setting triggered to be true before we check if triggered was true, which meant that it was always going to be true. So doing it this way should actually give us correct results, which means that we should be able to actually hear music now. The main reason that we need that triggered check is so that you don't just constantly cause music to play. So it's very important that you only be able to trigger these things once. Otherwise, it'll just become audio chaos. Or oral chaos. Oral. Alright, so let's go ahead and... Yay! Go ahead and stop. We need to go back to the splash screen and save our changes and apply changes to our client object or our global object, because that's why we're getting that null reference. Okay. So now that we have that working, we can kind of expand on that to make things a little bit more flexible. Are you not loading this thing? Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and grab this. We have everything referenced. Sector ambience range is going to be, I guess, 0 to 1. Go ahead and save that. All right. Then let's go ahead and just hit apply here. Save. Okay. So now we should be able to go back to the planes and just Okay then. I guess we're going to be doing some stuff with our audio view real quick. So let's go ahead and go back to our splash fade. Go over here. And this I'm going to assume does not actually have anything useful for us, does it? Oh dear, it does not. Options slider, peek this definition. Does it give us anything useful? It does not. Okay. No, that's not. That can't be right. Okay, so I guess we're going to set up our audio stuff in the audio view because apparently I was faking it before, which is entirely believable because Past Chris is an idiot. So let's go ahead and open up UI. And who knows, we might even find a better way to lay this menu out. Although I mean, I'm fine with this, but we do need to seriously actually do that. So this is going to be interesting. Right. So this we have IDs for this. We have types, but we don't really need that anymore because they're not really that useful. We don't use settings like that anymore. Which explains why it's failing. Crap baskets. Okay. So I think we can get rid of ID and type here because all of this is the old way I was handling options. We can keep everything else. So slider and input values because I mean that's already doing everything that I want. Input formatting. Oh, that's just okay. Yeah, it's nothing. So that means we probably would want. Let's go ahead and go back up here. Audio options. Right, we have an ambience test. Okay. All right. So that should be up here. Right, we have an audio source, but we're not actually going to do that anymore. Instead of changing our audio source's volume, we're going to set our actual mixer groups. So let's go ahead and say public. Let's see, am I using audio? I'm not. Well, there's part of our problem. So using Unity Engine .audio. We're going to go ahead and say audio mixer. Oi. Oi. Yeah, that's fine. Audio mixer group. Mixer group. Or not mixed group, mixer group. We'll also go ahead and say public sector audio bus. We'll say sector bus. Then we will go ahead and say public string mixer group param is equal to that. I really, really wish there was a good way to get the freaking parameters from a mixer group because I would write a attribute to grab that stuff in a heartbeat if I could. Actually, it's been so long since I last checked. Do they actually still not do that? Audio mixer. We'll say am dot. Can I get find snapshot, get type, put audio mixer group, set float. You have got to be kidding me. There's still no way of doing it. Why? Why would they do it that way? I don't understand. So, let's even see if I can remember how I get these things. Because honestly, I don't remember. So there are ways to expose. You can see that we have volume in these all four of these areas. But they're not actually there by default. I have to expose that through the through the audio mixer menu. And of course, once it compiles, I can actually show you all of that. So you can see the gear here. So we can add an effect. And we can do all of this stuff, but I honestly do not know how to check what my actual value is here. Let's see. Oh my goodness. It's going to kill me. It's going to just murder me. Let's see. Music. So you can see that we can slide that manually, but boy, whatever. Let's go ahead and go over here. Let's see. So this is. Let's go ahead and grab all of these. And let's go ahead and just move the names up to the very top, because that way we can change what the layout is displayed as. Makes things a little easier. Even if it does make my stuff nonsensical in terms of layout, but it will make them easier to look at. Alright. Once that compiles, of course. Crap. I honestly don't recall where my... It's not in the audio view, that's for sure. Where the freak did I get my audio volume? Where did that come from? I do not know. Let's go ahead and find this. Control F. We're going to go ahead and find all, because I know it's somewhere. Okay, Ambience Manager, and here we are, game settings. So these are the values that I need to keep track of. Let's go ahead and grab these. Master volume. Ambience volume. Music volume. Sound effects. Alright. Okay, so we need to grab and assign all of those values. So let's go ahead and... Oh, I guess I do need to keep a reference to the test button. That's fine. And therefore the source. That's fine if I keep those references. I'm not going to actually fade the volume. Okay, so here's our master mixer group. Let's see. Here's our music. Oh, crap. Back up here. Here is our music. Oh, okay. I was going to say, like, what happened? Because it scrolled back up. Where's our ambience? Put that there. And here's our sound effects. Okay, now we need to grab all of this. Oh, look at that. I do have one for everything. Isn't that nice? Let's go ahead and add that. One for ambience. One for master, which I've already assigned. One for music, right there. And then one for sound effects. Cool, so we'll be able to actually crossfade all of those, which is nice. And we don't really care about anything else. But let's go ahead and grab these, and... Okay, so from that, we're going to do a couple of things. Test fade duration, fade in and out, that's all fine. Let's go ahead and go back up here. So we can close you. Let's get rid of some of the triggers that we're working on, because we don't really need them anymore. We do need the audio view. We don't really need level manager or player, or we might need scene transitions in a little bit actually, or object rotation, and parser. Alright, so let's go ahead and close this, and we're going to add some new things here. So we want private vector 2, let's see, mixer volume range is equal to new vector 2. That's going to be between negative 80f, not equals 80f, negative 80f, and 0f. That's fine. Then we'll have another private vector 2. We'll have this called sector volume range is equal to new vector 2 between 0f and 1f. Let's go ahead and serialize those fields. Serialize you. Okay, let's go ahead and serialize everything, and then we'll mark them as private so that I can start slowly moving things over to the sensible way of coding that I've decided to move to. And finally, serialize field. Private. Okay. And that should do everything that I want. We'll go ahead and let that compile. While that's going on, I'm going to go ahead and also, let's see, where are you? On control updated set value, which is what I want, which is apparently somewhere else. Let's go ahead and go to definition. All right. That doesn't make sense. Where is this being used to find all references? Controls.source. It's all in the audio view. Where's the volume? Controls.source plane. Fade out source. Ah, here we are. Go to definition. Source.volume. 1F. Okay, I guess we're going to do fade in source. Let's see, source.volume. Source volume. T. Really? That doesn't make sense. Where do I set you? Like, something has to be getting set here. Don't tell me I did that the stupid way. Please tell me I didn't do that the stupid way. I wouldn't doubt it if I did that the stupid way. I'm just going to be really sad if I did. Oh, phew. Okay. I thought for a second that I had set it up so that these event listeners would be driving those values, and I'm very glad that I didn't. But something is controlling that volume, and I don't know what it is. So let's go ahead and go all the way up here. Well, actually, no. Volume. Let's go ahead and find that. Yeah, this is going to be a lot, isn't it? Source.volume. So this is where it lerps to, but where do we assign the values that it's going to lerp to from? We just assume it's 1F? That can't be right. Hold on. Timeout. Update slider values, control set value. Fade in source, fade in awake. Not what we want. Cancel settings, stop test, start test, set value. Refresh audio settings, go to definition, instance master volume, audio master. Peek that. What is going on? Let's go ahead and turn you off. We're going to go ahead and apply those changes. Let's go ahead and make the UI go away. Let's just take a look at this. Because the way it's set up makes it seem like it's actually setting the volume, but we know that that's not the case. So, not sure what's going on there. Let's go ahead and open up our mixer. Although it does set them to be 1, which is kind of awkward. Oh, actually, you know what? That probably could be why. Let's go ahead and do start. We'll go to options, audio. So you can see that this is clearly driving the volume on the audio source. And then we can ensure that that is the case by looking at the actual audio source. Come over here. Let's see. We want ambience. Yeah, that's where that volume is getting set. But we don't want it to set that volume. Instead, we want it to set the values up here. Let's go ahead and stop playing. And let's see. Let's go to audio view. I just do not understand. Get value, start test, stop test, apply, cancel, control, updated, slider values, fade in source, stop play. I don't. Test fade duration is 0.5. It can't be that. It has to be. So let's look for volume space equals. That should give us only what I want. And it's all down here, because of course it is. Because I can't have nice things. Okay, let's go ahead and come down here. We'll turn UI on. Turn on our root. Content, ambience, volume. We're not doing something, so what the heck is going on here? Are we doing something really stupid and on awake? On control updated peak, that's just where we set the value. Controls index source dot clip is equals to controls index dot clip. Let's see, on click add listener test, setting the loop to be equal to true. Huh. I am legitimately baffled. So, huh. Hey. Let's just go ahead and look for dot source. Source dot is playing, start coroutine, start test. That is so baffling. Something else has to be referencing it then. Let's see. Label, ambience, volume. Nope, that's not a thing. Let's see. Where are you? Ambience test. Ah, there it is. That's what it was doing. Okay. Jeez. Yeah, well, we don't need you anymore to do. We don't need you to do that anymore. Which is very good because that approach was really, really stupid. Oh no, I know why I did it like that. But it's still very, very stupid. Let's go ahead and we're going to change audio view a little bit. So, find all references. Is this the only place that it's referenced? Yep. Okay. So, what about options control? Find all references. Options slider. Under audio option. Which is nothing, which means I'm going to delete it right now. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get rid of that because it's not doing anything. Is that the same for our audio types there? No. Okay. Everything else is in our audio view for the most part, so that's good. Let's go ahead and find all references again. Options slider, options control. Let's go ahead and go to definition. You find all references. All in the audio view. Perfectly understandable. Means that we're not going to do anything though. So let's go ahead and find all references. So we have an options slider, which now will just become a mono behavior. Control updated options slider. I wonder why I did it that way. Not that it matters. So we'll go ahead and make this mono behavior. Sorry. I couldn't reach my mic in time. Okay. So let's go ahead and change that, which means that we should be able to get rid of it. So slider delegate. I'm sorry, on value changed is what I was looking for there. We should be able to go back to audio view. That should then have some errors. Right. So this is going to be fun because we're going to be finally refactoring this in such a way that it is not a annoying issue anymore. Right. So I don't quite know how I want to do this. I guess instead of a list here, I'm going to have just 4 audio options, and they will, they'll just be not in a list, I guess. So let's go ahead, come down here, go ahead and say private, what is it called, audio option? Yep. Audio option, we'll call this master volume equal to new audio option. We don't really care about it. Let's go ahead and serialize that field. And then we'll just go ahead and duplicate that 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so ambience, then for music, then for sound effects. All right. Let's go ahead and we're going to have to change a lot of this. So let's get rid of you. Default listener, that's all fine. Okay, update slider values, everything else we don't really care about. Cached values is not something that we are going to be able to use. Let's go ahead and clear that out. And actually, you know what, while I am in here, let's see here. Come down here. There should totally be a thing that is listening for this. There it is, options control, which we can no longer use. So we're going to go ahead and convert that to options slider. Okay, so let's go ahead and let that compile. Once that options control, let's go ahead and we're going to just delete this because it's not useful. That was back when I was doing a way more convoluted method of doing these things. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. All right. Then we can go back here to our audio view, although it needs to compile for maximum efficiency. Okay. So here's where we're going to get some fun stuff. We're going to go ahead and say private float cached master volume is equal to 0f. Private float cached ambience is equal to 0f. We're just going to get rid of the volume part because we kind of understand that that's what that is. Private float cached music is equal to 0f. Private float cached sfx is equal to 0f. All right. So we need to set our cached values, which is going to mean cached ambient. Let's say cached master is equal to game settings dot audio master. Cached ambience is equal to game settings dot audio ambience. Cached music is equal to game settings dot music, and then cached sfx is equal to to game settings dot sfx. Nice. Okay, so that takes care of our cached values. On close, we don't need to clear those anymore. We don't care about that. Game settings dot save settings, which, if I recall, should also cause a reset. Oh, it doesn't. Should I? Nah, it's fine. Set value. Okay, so this is where things are going to get way more messy. All references. So this is, yep, an update slider values. We don't really need that anymore, so instead we're going to go ahead and just come down here and we're going to say master volume dot control dot set value, and then that's going to be for game settings dot master. I think that's what we're going to want. Let's go ahead and grab this. Okay, change this to ambience volume, music volume, SFX volume, audio SFX, music, and ambience. Okay, so that takes care of that. Let's go ahead and comment you out because we don't need you anymore. On control updated, this is where things get a little messier. We probably will just take the easy way out and break these into separate functions from now on. Okay, so that means that we're going to actually have one. We're going to move this up. So this is actually going to go to here. Then here we're going to go ahead and say private void on master changed float value. Now I guess we can. We'll just leave it like that. I think I'm going to get rid of the control because it doesn't really make sense for us to have to do that anyway. All we care about is the value. So let's go ahead and say game settings dot. Well, no, hold on. We're going to do the same approach that we've done for some of our other menus. So we're going to come up to here. So we're going to say private float master volume get return game settings dot master followed by set game settings dot master is equal to value. Okay, we're going to go ahead and come up here. So we have ambience, we have music, we have sound effects. Okay, so music, suffix, ambience. Okay. Oops. Wow, that did not work out. Dot sfx is equal to value. There we go. Oh wow, that just totally borked everything. There we go. Jeez. All right, let's come back down here. Where are you? Get value. That's what? Hold on. Let's go ahead and just change this to master volume, followed by ambience volume, followed by music volume, followed by SFX volume. Okay, so that's that. Here we are. Right, this is what I was going to say. So we want to say master volume is equal to value. And I guess we would go ahead and say let's just go ahead and do that. I think I'm going to go back up here actually and tell it to refresh after each set. So I was wondering if I did that here or elsewhere, but I think this is where I'm going to do it. So once we do that, we're going to go ahead and say game settings dot refresh audio settings. Let's go ahead and peek that. Okay, everything should be good there. Nice. Let's go ahead and come down here and okay, so that's all we needed to do. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Okay, so this is going to be on ambience changed. Ambience volume is equal to that. Followed by on music changed. Music volume is equal to that. Followed by SFX changed. And then SFX volume is equal to that. Okay. That's pretty simple. We don't really... Oh, I guess we would actually want to do set value, don't we? Crap. Or do we? What is set value doing up here? Oh, no, never mind. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. And let's go ahead and scroll down. So we're kind of all over the place right now. I apologize for that, but it's because I'm scanning and trying to parse out old code that's not really valid anymore. We're going to go ahead and go over here to options slider. Let's see, on value changed. I'm assuming you're only being listened to in one script, which is, yep, that. There is no reason for us to do that, so let's go ahead and go over here. Get rid of this, go all the way up here, and get rid of all of this. Okay, hit save there. Let's go ahead and go back here. Get rid of this, and we don't need this anymore at all. Let's see, fade in source. Where are you being referenced? Okay, start test, that's good. Let's see, so this is... Wow, really? Okay, there we go. I was wondering about that. So we can change that to just be an audio source, I guess. Yeah, that seems to be correct. I guess for now. Let's see, cancel values. This will be as simple as saying master volume is equal to cached master. Ambience volume is equal to cached ambience. Music volume is equal to cached music. And then finally, SFX volume is equal to cached SFX. Nice. Let's go ahead and comment this out. And slowly whittling everything down until it's no longer going to be broken. Okay, so we don't have any of that, really. I'm going to keep it for reference. But we do want, so we want master volume dot control dot on value changed plus equal on master changed. Okay. And we don't really care about master. I guess I'll go ahead and do this anyway. So go ahead and grab this. You, and you. Followed by you. Oh, right, and this is just going to be source. So I'm going to pass in an actual audio source here. So we're going to go ahead and say audio source, source. Okay. So if source does not equal null, then we're going to go ahead and get that. If the ID is equal to the ID, start coroutine, fade out source. Okay. So I think we want this. Oh crap. Ah, crap. Right. Ah, dang it. So that's one of the annoying things that I have to deal with. If jeez, really. So before, when you hit a test button in the audio menu, it would. Please tell me I have it open. Okay. So I have those test buttons, and if you hit the red one, which is the ambience, and it'll start playing ambience. And if you hit the blue one while the red one is playing, it'll actually fade the red one out and then fade the blue one in while that's happening. So I can't really do that in an easy way here, besides just brute forcing like the actual things that would happen. That kind of sucks, but what are you gonna do? Okay, so blah. Gross. Okay. So pretty much all of this just needs to go away, and we instead want to just copy this and say if source dot is playing, and we're going to go ahead and do that. Otherwise, we'll fade out or fade it in. Jeez, this sucks. Let me think. And I really don't want to do that, but I guess I'm going to have to. Okay, so before we even get there, let's go ahead and say... I can't be right. Hold on. Start test. Is that just the event listener? Yeah, okay, good. That sucks so hard. Dang it! There's no good generic way of doing that. Ah, jeez. Okay. Jeez. Let's see if we can do this. Params, audio source, sources. See if we can get away with that. I'm gonna come down here, and then we're gonna go ahead and say ambience volume dot source, music volume dot source. I know you're not gonna work because you're the capital one, but it's fine for now. Followed by SFX volume dot source. How nice. Cool. So I can do that. So I'm just going to pass in the ones that I would want to crossfade out, I guess. So we'll go ahead and come back up here. Let's go ahead, go to here. And we're just going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than sources.length I plus plus. Say if sources, come on. If sources of I does not equal null, and sources of I dot is playing, then we'll say start coroutine fade audio or fade out source sources of I. Very, very simple workaround. Okay. I think that should fix all of the errors, but that's not actually doing everything that I want yet. It's almost going to be doing that, but I basically have to do this block of code for ambience and all of the other stuff. So that's fun. Ambience and sound effects. Okay. So ambience volume on ambience changed. Let's go ahead and just paste all of this in. Okay, so that should work. then music volume on music changed. Master volume. Master volume. Okay, final one. And we should be good. So SFX volume. SFX volume. On SFX changed. Add you and make you master volume. Okay, that should do everything, I think. Like 90% sure that that's what's going to happen. So let's go ahead and give that a whirl. Oh, wait, hold on. Apply, on apply. Really? Probably should do that. So I'm actually going to go ahead and go up here. Change that to on apply. Clicked. Go ahead and come down here. We're going to say on cancel. Clicked. Get rid of you. Go to definition. Okay. Make sure that those are the same. Yep. Okay. And I think we'll be able to go ahead and say game settings dot refresh audio settings at the end here, just to make sure that everything gets set up there. It shouldn't really matter, but it should be fine. And we'll also go ahead and say game settings dot save if apply is clicked. And that should appropriately give us everything that we need. We do need to actually go to game settings though. So go here, go to definition. So I need to add all of this stuff for sector as well. So I need to say, do I use any of this outside of this? Nope. We'll just go ahead and keep up with it. So public sector audio bus master bus. We'll just say sector master bus. Let's go ahead and copy that. Ambience, music, and all that. So ambience followed by music, followed by SFX bus. Okay. And finally, the last thing we need to do is public vector 2 mixer volume range is equal to new vector 2, that'd be negative 80f to 0f. Cool. And then same thing down here. So this will be sector volume range, which will just be 0f to 1f. Okay. And last thing, I swear, is refresh audio settings. Go to definition is what I want. So we actually need to change this to instance dot mathf dot lerp from instance dot volume range dot x instance dot mixer volume range dot y based on audio master. So it's going to be like all of that. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that, paste. Okay. Then last things to do, we're going to be instance dot sector master bus dot volume is equal to mathf dot lerp instance dot sector volume range dot x instance dot sector volume range dot y based off of audio master. Okay, let's go ahead and make that .y. Copy these. So sector ambience bus, sector music bus, or bus, and sector SFX bus. It'll be all of these guys. Okay. Ha! I think we're good. Okay, so we just need to assign all of that, and then we'll be good. Everything will work perfectly. Hey, that was a lot. Let's see, where's my settings? There we are. Oh, man. Okay, so let's go ahead and assign all of this. So there's our ambience, there's our master, there's our music, and there's our sound effects. All right, so all of that's set up. Let's go ahead, apply those settings to global so we don't lose them when we instantiate that. Come over to here. Okay, so we have to do all of this again for the most part, which is kind of annoying, but we'll get through it. Okay, there's our options slider. We don't have a source. Let's go ahead and grab these. So mixer group, sector audio bus, and we don't really care about anything else. We do want this though. Okay, let's go ahead and minimize that. Doot. Go ahead and grab this. Okay, copy this. Oh, crap. And slide that in. Ambience test. Ambience. Loop. And there's the test button. Okay, so that's our ambience set up. Grab our music. Let's go ahead and grab that. And our music mixer, our music bus, our audio clip to play, and then our test button. All right, last one, sound effects. Audio source, which is going to be here. Sound effects. There's our clip. Then our test button. Grab that. Cool. So all of that is set up now. We should be able to go ahead and close this. Let's go ahead and turn you off. Let's hit apply. Off. Oh crap! Actually, you know what? Something that I did forget. I'm gonna go ahead and grab our stuff here. We're gonna turn off respect audio settings. Are they not the same thing? No, I guess they're not. So, to give you a sense of what this was doing before, respect audio settings in the past was manually adjusting the volume of the audio source based off of the volume settings. But that's really an archaic way of doing it because I can just adjust the mixer volumes and it will have the same effect. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove all of that. Let's remove this. Now we will apply those changes again. And let's go ahead and hit save. Okay. So we should be able to maximize on play. We should be able to just go to our audio menu and do the exact same thing that we were doing before, and all of the volumes should crossfade. Everything should basically behave the same as before. Only now it's not terrible. Unless it doesn't work, in which case, it is terrible. Okay, so audio. Ooh. Oh. Right, that. Um, let me think, real quick. On value changed. Right. Yeah, we gotta fix something real quick. So I'm not doing normalized values there. I have to manually do that here. So let's go to update slider values. Set value, we're just going to multiply these by 100. I guess I can make that a const, can't I? It'll save me a little bit, not much. So let's go ahead and go up here. We're going to say private const float. We're just going to say volume multiplier is equal to 100f. Grab that. Go back down here. Times that. Let's go ahead and copy this. So paste, 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 which in turn means that I want to set our values here to be equal to value divided by that. So we need to go ahead and grab that. And that should set everything as we would expect. So let's go ahead and let that compile. I'm going to take a drink. It was an audio-heavy day. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, no, that makes sense. Yeah, the sector audio system crap. We're going to have to figure out what we want to do about that. So currently sector doesn't like it whenever I tell it to play when there's no sector audio listener in the scene. So I guess I need to apply one of those to my cameras, like my menu cameras. And I think that would fix that problem. Although it might... I'm a little worried about that because I wonder if that means it's going to work up how the player's sector audio listener will work. Things to think about. Start. Let's go over to options, audio. Okay, so everything's working. Perfect. Ah, crap. Yep. Okay. Fade in source. Is it because we're doing this, which doesn't really make sense anyway? You know what? That really doesn't. No, it's fine. Oh, duh. That's what the problem is. Or not. Right, because I did assign those event listeners. Go to definition. Let's go ahead and debug.log source.isPlane just to make sure that it's actually behaving the way I would expect. So there are a couple of things that could be messing with that. I want to make sure that my event listeners are actually set up. So music volume.source, music. Okay, all that stuff's true. Okay, let's go ahead and go up here to the top. Curiosity, nothing should be referencing this, right? Oh, stop test. Right, that needs to be a thing. Let's go ahead. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and say if music volume dot source does not equal null, and music volume dot source dot is playing. We'll just do this in the same line. We're just gonna say music volume dot source dot stop. Okay. Let's go ahead and just do that for all four of those. So ambience volume. Oh, this should be also master volume, and then X volume. Grab that, paste that. Grab you, paste you, paste you. Okay, so that should fix that. Not that that would have been an issue, I don't think. Huh. It was kind of weird. Alright. Okay. Still compiling, huh? Interesting. We have some... Really? Do I not do anything with these? I guess I don't. It's kind of... I guess that makes sense. They're kind of irrelevant. So... Get rid of you. Nope. Okay. Yeah, that's right, because I put those things in actual game settings. That makes more sense. Okay. And controls are now no longer referenced. Yep. Okay. We'll keep them up there for now until everything works, and then we'll go ahead and get rid of that. Oh, man. Took me a lot longer than I was expecting to do the audio stuff. I guess, to be fair, I did sort of divert attention into the audio system. Well, the options, anyway. Clear that stuff out. Let's try this again. At the very least, we'll figure out if it's playing correctly or not. Oh, and actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and click through here. I'm going to turn off Maximize on Play so I can keep an eye on this. That makes sense. Our master volume has been set to 0, so it's that's why we couldn't hear anything, actually. Ha! Duh. So let's go ahead and turn that up. Oh yeah, that's definitely got to be on a curve. Hey. Yeah, like 75 is what I would expect 25 to be, so yeah, at 50 I can't even hear that. Wait, nope, I can. It's very slight. So we definitely want this to be graded on a curve. That makes things so much more annoying to do, but okay. So... sneezing tonight. Sorry about that. Alright, so we're going to add a curve to our game settings here. Let's go up to here. And let's go ahead and say, I guess we can have a curve for both sector and regular. So we're going to go ahead and say public animation curve, not that, curve, mixer curve is equal to new, animation curve, new keyframe, 0f, 0f, new keyframe, 1f, 1f. Let's go ahead and copy this, move this down, we'll call this sector curve, all that's going to be the same. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, go down here, and we're going to evaluate these things based off of that. So we're going to say instance dot mixer curve. Cat, yes, I see you. My cat wants attention. Mixer curve dot evaluate based on this. So let's go ahead and do this. I don't know why I made explosion sound effects, but I did. Let's go ahead and say same thing here, but instead of mixer curve, it's going to be sector curve. Grab that. all of the fun stuff in. All right, and let's go ahead and let that compile. We're going to need to adjust our global value here. Let's see, settings. Of course there are. We'll give this a second to actually compile, which is annoying because I'm going to immediately force it to recompile again. Ah! Are you kidding me? I didn't even click. I tried to open that up. Okay, now I clicked. Yes, yes. See, like it's like it's converting them all to Unix or something. Like all of this crap. I just don't understand how that stuff was. Whatever. All right, let's go ahead and close that. Excuse me. All right, I think we'll get this working, and that'll probably be it for the night. 2.5 hour stream. All right. All right, so I want this to change a lot. So I think this should probably be something like this almost. Oh, geez, that's terrible though. Um, so I could never have it go over that. I think that kind of curve will be fine. Basically like that, except we want it to probably be more extreme than that. So something like this. I think that seems like the correct curve for the mixer. Because, again, by the time it gets to 40, that's basically zero. I mean, negative 80 is absolute silence. So I'm willing to bet like at negative 50, no one's going to be able to hear anything anyway. So we kind of want this curve to be like this. So negative 40 would be about here. And like I was saying, that was about what I would expect from about 0.25. So I think this curve will actually be pretty good. The sector curve, I kind of think we can make this one linear, honestly. I don't really see much of a reason not to. So let's go ahead and close this, hit apply. All right. Hoi. Let's go ahead and test this. Click through here. I want to look at my audio mixer, make sure that things are getting saved out correctly. Go to options, audio, master. All right, let's go ahead and apply there. I'm going to go back to here, and let's go ahead and just test this. Okay. So at 25, I can hear it. I can still barely hear it at 19 and 20. I just have to, hold on, I have to really focus. I cannot hear it. It's very quiet, if anything. I keep thinking maybe I hear it, but I honestly don't know if that's just me listening for it to the extent where my mind is making me think I hear it. So, I think that's a good range then, because at 100, that's zero. That's no modification. Let's go to like 75. That's fine. Actually, That might be too shallow, actually. Okay, fortunately, we can actually adjust this real time to test these. So let's go over here to our settings. Let's try the default curve that Unity uses. That's not bad. It kind of sucks though. Um, so like my original curve was something like this, which gives us less up front but better in the middle control. Um, I wonder if it would make sense to do something like this, but we can kind of like flatten out here. Do like this some more. So kind of like that. It's an awkward shape, I know, but um, so 0. It's not bad. That's not really that bad. I wonder if we should do steps, actually, now that I think about it. So let me try this. Let's go ahead and say time of 0.6. No, you know what, no. Key, let's go ahead and do 0.666. Key 3. I mean, like this, maybe? That drops too fast. No, this feels more like it should be that volume at 10. Let's go ahead. Oh, I guess this is even more awkward because... Oh, no, never mind, never mind. So I guess... I want to edit this key. Make it like 0.6. Let's go ahead and make this 0.9. Oh, wow, I did that wrong. 0.9. There we go. Like, does that curve really... Okay. That's better. It's about what I would expect, kind of. See, my problem is that like, it's just, by the time you get to 10, there's pretty much no way you're going to be able to hear it. Ah, jeez. So I kind of, ugh. God, I almost want to just have like a edit key here. The value of, I don't know, 0.4. Go ahead and flatten that. Something like that, kind of, I think makes sense. Like this almost. 75, it's at -7. And at 50, it's at -20. That's a little too low, so we want to spruce that up a bit. Let's go ahead and flatten you. Let's edit key 0.8. That's a little. So 5. I'm happy with 75. 50 is pretty good. 25. It feels like that should be the volume at 10. So let's go ahead and go back. So I think I'm gonna streamline this. So let's go ahead and edit key. We're gonna be at 0.75. We're gonna be there. At 50, we're gonna be there. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. Edit key. So at 0.25, we're going to be. That doesn't look terrible. Let's go ahead and try this. So 75. Seems like a good 3/4 of the max volume. Let's go to 50. Pretty good half. 25. No, that needs to be. Well. All right. I think that's a good one. So we want this to stay like that. Now the real question is, can I copy that? Not really, but I can probably copy component. Let's go ahead and do that. So once it's stopped, I'll go ahead and paste that. And then I think we'll be done for the night. Oh, I guess we should do one more quick test in our planes level to see if we can go ahead and trigger the audio. But we have ambience fading down whenever we play music, or at the very least when we trigger it through our music triggers. And then we actually have audio set up correctly in our options menu now. So let's go ahead and paste component values. So I think that's the curve we're going to use for that kind of monster curve. Go ahead and apply that. Hit save, and we should be good. So we'll go ahead and continue and go trigger that audio after we make our ambience go down, just to make sure that it actually respects that properly. So go ahead and say continue. Interesting. That's not good. So you can tell the audio got borked. Crap. Then we're going to cheat. We're going to go into the cabin and then leave the cabin again. And that should fix that problem. Oh crap, I'm actually, now that I think about it. Dang it. Because guess what that means? Go ahead and do start. It seems to work, although I think we need to set our ambience to change its value, or our lerping to change its value here. So, all right, I think that's a good enough place to stop for the night. So we have ambience crossfading down whenever music plays, and we have actual correct values being set up in our settings now for audio. So, yeah, that's a very good place to stop for the night. So, any announcements real quick? No, should be back streaming on Saturday, doing some more custom adventure stuff. Normal schedule there, so should be back at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So, as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.